Let's get nuts.
Right. Yeah, so we're playing around with a new kind of setup there now, Riverside. So it's a bit weird looking at videos. Welcome. How's things, Dan?
All good, except we were supposed to have Thomas Sheridan on. And he agreed to come on, and then I forgot to fucking confirm. I forgot to email him, so...
Yeah, we might have him on the next
I
one.
fucked that up.
But we live and learn. But Thomas, if you're listening, we're not pricks. We're just kind of... we were just incompetent. But yeah, I suppose I kind of want to get into... Louis Theroux, I don't know, a lot of people probably heard of him. He's not really big nowadays, but he was big there maybe about 10 years ago. And he was doing a lot of like documentaries. Was it for the BBC? But this one he did back in 2015. I sent it on to you, didn't I? My Scientology movie, it's called. So yeah, back in 2015. How did I come across? I was actually listening to a podcast there during the day, or a couple of weeks ago, and the guest on the podcast was talking about cults and stuff. So he was talking about Scientology. So then, like, what happens with me is if I hear about something new, a topic, I just go straight down the rabbit hole of it. Like, it's something different every week or every month. Like, but then I kind of knew vaguely what it was. Like Tom Cruise, everyone kind of knows he's a Scientologist. Your man from Greece as well. What's his name?
Travolta.
John Travolta, yeah.
Is he still in as well? He is.
Yeah, he's a Scientologist as well. I think he's still in it. But the whole gist of the whole thing is there was this guy who was back in the 60s or the 70s, L. Ron Hubbard, wasn't it?
Yes.
So he wrote the book. He was a science fiction author. And he wrote 2 books, I think. I don't know, was Dianetics the second one? I'll find it up here. We're full of technology here now.
He was saying that, or they were saying that he's the most published science fiction writer of all time, or maybe even the most published writer of all time, I think.
Right. Yeah, so books. Let's go to books. He's a fuckload of books. So how many Scientology books is he? So they're all back from the 80s. His earliest one there is what, 1950? 1936. Jesus.
No, is the Spy Killer his as well? Fuck.
This one here, Spy Killer 1936. Yeah. Sure, he would have been around for sure. He's dead, like, but I don't know how long is he.
Since 87 or something.
Yeah, basically science fiction writers. Oh yeah, so born in 1911 and died in 86. So what's that, 75? And yeah, so Dianetics. And I think he had 2 of them that really kicked it off. But basically, Scientology books. But it's from what we see, it's basically a cult. And the whole thing of it is that they're giving people life skills to improve themselves, basically. Now, the first I kind of rightly came across it was I was out on a J1 there back in 2017. I told you that. And I was inside New York City and I just walked past this big fuck off of a sign, Scientology, Church of Scientology. And then I vaguely heard of it before that, I think. But then I was like, Jesus. And then, like, the front windows, everything's blocked off, you can't see in. And the doors are closed, obviously. But you could walk in. But there's a stand outside, come on in or something, whatever, if you're interested or whatever, and that. I was very tempted to go in. I think one of the lads was with me, and I was very tempted to go in. And something said to me, just don't. No, I don't know what that was. That was some kind of a hunch. But just inside the windows was the books. I think there was a couple of books, basically the self-help books. But that's kind of the thing, is, you start off, if you want to join the church, I don't know what levels it is, but we'll call them level 1 or something. But you basically buy one book at a time, and you pay whatever to buy the book. You're basically paying you're basically paying for courses.
Oh yeah,
isn't it?
Yeah.
So then you're getting past these different levels, like. But so So Louis Theroux, he was doing that documentary, but at the start of the documentary, he was finding it hard to contact any members of the church. So then he kind of thought of a different way of going about it, and he said, look, he's going to start his own movie. He got on to few ex-members of the church that had left, and they came up with the idea that he was going to make a movie and cast some of the important characters that the public knows about the church. So they got a few actors in. They went over to Hollywood, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where the main, I suppose, base is, or the main church. And they put out casting call kind of and advertise it, and they were getting people to advertise or to audition for the role of the CEO.
Yes.
Of the organisation. What's his name again? Max Savage, isn't it? David Max Savage or Mick Savage?
No, it's
I think it's David Max Savage. Scientology. What did you think of the movie anyway?
It was entertaining anyway, but my only complaint would be that it could very
David Miscavige.
Miscavige.
Yeah,
it could be. It could have been a hit piece. You know, they didn't actually. It would have been great. Like, you know, he said he tried to get in touch with them, and he couldn't get anyone to do anything with him. But it would have been great to hear from happy Scientologists. And I was listening to. Since we watched that, I listened to about an hour of a podcast with Joe Rogan interviewing the guy who directed another movie the same year, Going Clear. I'll have to watch that one as well. I haven't seen it.
That's the lad that he's an investigative journalist, and he's been studying a whole load of shit. But that's the guy that I heard the podcast episode about.
Okay, yeah.
He's the fella that made that documentary Going Clear.
Yeah. But Rogan said that he had a neighbour about fucking 25 years ago or something that who was a Scientologist, and he said he was a lovely guy, you know, and he seemed like a very happy guy. So I would have liked to hear from people who were actually Scientologists and give them the opportunity to kind of say their piece, because it was all people that could potentially have had an axe to grind, you know, and, you know, they're saying they left voluntarily, but, you know, Miscavige and friends are saying that that they were kicked out for incompetence.
Yes.
And so, you know, when he described like leaving was difficult because they were so unplugged from the real world, or if you want to call it that. Difficult to get a bank account, didn't know how to get a bank account, and, you know, it was kind of
society based.
Yeah, kind of completely dependent on their Scientologist community and living within that community. And so it's a scary thing for them to have to leave. So I would just be wondering if some of these guys are lying or exaggerating what they experienced.
Yeah, as you said, it was very one-sided, and so this character, David Mick Savage, it's not Max Savage, Miscavige, I keep fucking it up, but so he's the current leader, so he's not CEO, he's the chairman of the board of the Religious Technology Centre. So they call their self-help guides technologies, basically. And like, if that doesn't scream business, like, obviously, if you're religion, what are you exempt from? Tax.
Tax, yeah.
Right. So chairman of the board, what the fuck, like. But yeah, which is the most powerful executive organisation in Church of Scientology. This is, I presume, Wikipedia it's coming from. But this lad is intense, isn't he?
Yeah. And they've made a fuck ton of money. They're worth, I mean, they're nothing like the fucking Vatican or anything like that. No. But he's sitting on
I can share
on assets.
Yeah, I'm going to share the screen here now. Yeah.
Oh, can you do that? Yeah.
I'm going to try something here now. Yeah, this might be cool now. So let's see if we can get a clip of him. So we're just playing it.
But, you know, I kind of went, well, myself and the wife kind of went down the Scientology rabbit hole there for a couple of days after we saw that. And it turns out that his wife hasn't been seen in public since 2006 or 2007.
Really?
Yeah. And that there hasn't been, she hasn't made any public statements or anything like that. It's just the story is that she's just living a private life or what have you. But I think that somebody went to the police saying she was missing at some point, but the police kind of never investigated, didn't see any reason to. But he hasn't been seen in public for a long time. Like,
this is his first and only. I'm going to share the screen now, see if this works. Share screen. Okay, yeah.
That's pretty good.
So, see if this plays now.
Thank you. Hello. My name is David Miscavige, and I'm very happy that you could all make it to this important briefing this evening. Okay, how about now? In 1980, LRH moved off the lines so that he could continue his writings and researches without any distractions.
It's hard to get that interview. I think that interview is about an hour.
For many years, Ron had said that if
Yeah,
you were given the time,
okay.
and if others wore their
There we go.
hats and did their jobs, running and expanding the church, he would be able to concentrate on and complete all of his researches into the upper OT levels so that the bridge would be laid out in full for us all.
Like, is this a church or is it a business? Like, do you know? Like, I just want to try and get, because there is an intense kind of moment. So there's him, but as you said, there's very little out there, and it's only one. There's only one interview that he's done, and that's the one that we just showed there. I don't know why you just looped at the intro. That's kind of weird. This is Tom Cruise now. So this was actually shown inside the documentary, I think, wasn't it?
Yes, yeah.
So this is at the main technology centre, or central, whatever title they have in it. So basically, it's like an Oscars ceremony that they do. I don't know is it once a year or what, but basically they're just talking amongst each other, presenting medals or whatever. So this is Tom Cruise.
These are the times now, people, okay? These are the times we will all remember. Were you there? What did you do? I think you know that I am there for you. And I do care so very, very, very much. So what do you say? We need to clean this place up? Huh? Okay. Because we're counting on you. Okay? All right?
This is the thing that they keep doing as well. So that's
Saluting.
from L. Ron Hubbard. And yeah, the salute to the painting to LRH.
Right.
L. Ron Hubbard.
Yeah, well, he was in the army or something for a while.
Was he as well? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's the whole thing. Let's see. Yeah, so they got a load of different actors in. They casted Miscavige, basically looking for the most intense person that they could find.
Yeah.
And advising him was the next member, and he was like, I don't know, was he the third or fourth down from the top?
Yeah.
But he was there for something like 24 years, wasn't he? And apparently he's seen both sides of it. Like, he'd been victim and victimised, a lot of people.
Yeah.
And there's some strange parts of the documentary where, like, so they're going through their rehearsals and doing their auditions, and then they notice there's this lady and a cameraman outside the building that they're at, and this guy is just pointing the camera at them. So then Louis Theroux goes out with his camera and he goes, well, why are you recording us? And the other one's just like giving up, and she's just smiling awkwardly, and she's like, we're making a documentary.
Yeah.
And he goes, oh cool, we're making a documentary too. Do you want to tell us what your one is about? And she's like, no. And she goes, we'll tell you what we're doing. And he just like asks the cameraman, and the cameraman says,
I was just hired.
Yeah, I'm a freelancer. I was just hired to point the camera.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that either.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they use the same cameraman again later on.
Yeah, it's the same guy again.
It was mad though. He was saying that one of the lads was saying that Miscavige would have everything recorded. He'd have audio tapes of everything. So even if he was just sitting down having a game of fucking backgammon with someone, the audio would be recorded.
What? Yeah, what was that game? Backgammon.
I remember played it before. It's kind of like I don't know. It's like chess or something like that.
Oh, okay, right.
But there's dice involved. Yeah, making me look stupid now because I'm not sure.
We'll have to Google what it is. But yeah, and they're on about it. So they went and interviewed another ex-member, and he said that he said he got on with Miscavige, but you can only kind of get on to him to a certain level, and he just basically uses everyone, and he gets on with you until he's used you up, and then he just goes on to whoever else he can.
Yeah, quite. It's unfortunate we weren't talking to Thomas Sheridan tonight because I'd like to know if Miscavige has got any psychopathic traits, because he's quite an intense kind of a guy, isn't he?
Yeah, and apparently, like your man was saying, that ex-guy, that if you'd have to make him win, because if he didn't win, he'd go apeshit and he'd fucking nearly beat you.
Yeah.
But he has been accused of beating people.
Yeah.
And anyone that has accused them, the church, anytime they've come out to fucking, I suppose, defend themselves, they've said that they're making it up, it's all bullshit. And they're only saying it because they're out against the church.
Yeah.
Because things didn't work out for them. And the FBI actually went after them, didn't they? And they couldn't prove anything because, like, this is all by the word of the current members as well. But again, we're only seeing one side from ex-members, and you said they could have something against them, like, you know.
Yeah.
But they were saying that even the members, they're so brainwashed, ones that are getting beat, and they see nothing wrong with it. They see it's all part of the process of improving themselves and proving their loyalty to the church.
It's crazy.
Like a fucking, that's mad. But like Tom Cruise is a fairly intense guy. Like he's mad. I think we were on about there in the last episode, the latest movie from the Mission Impossible franchise. Like the stunts he be doing is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like look, I presume if you have to look at it from their point of view and if you're to see what you think that Tom Cruise got from being a Scientologist, he got that intensity anyway. Because there is a drill that they're doing. Remember in one of the classes, basically, that the ex-member is trying to get the cast of this documentary movie to really understand what's going on and what the Dianetics, the technology of the cult is, or not the cult, the religion is. And one of them was like, you pair up into a group and then you just shout abuse at the other person.
Yeah, that was mad.
And the other person's just not supposed to flinch. And if they flinch, you just go back and you just keep repeating the same thing until they stop flinching.
Yeah.
So you're just trying to toughen their nerve. But like you can see with Tom Cruise, like he's fucking intense.
Imagine sitting across from him doing it while he hurls fucking the most unbelievable abuse at you.
Yeah, this like I'm going to look up a little intense Tom Cruise scene or interview here.
He was quite intense in that in the clip from the movie as well. We watched a bit of that interview.
Do you remember
background? They just showed clips
of which?
Of Cruise was interviewed talking about
Scientology. That's okay, right?
He was talking about, you know, how he's focused on Scientology and how important it is and all this kind of stuff, and how honoured he is to be a Scientologist, and he's real fucking intense. But I couldn't find the actual interview. I could only find snippets of it with the Mission Impossible music playing in the background, because he must have just done the movie or something like that.
Maybe they're trying to hide it from...
I don't know. It's a strange one. But
they could be trying to hide it from the algorithm too, because people do that, don't they? Like, the other way, sometimes with YouTube algorithm, like, people don't say killed or murdered, they say unalived. And apparently that kind of escapes algorithm.
Yeah.
But watch the documentary, My Scientology movie, isn't it?
Yeah.
From 2015, and make up your own kind of decision. But But look, it's very one-sided, but you will see the clips and how intense they are. And just that weird shit of fucking... And they did it again later on. It was like they came on and started recording Scientologist crowd, recording him again, just trying to intimidate him.
Yeah.
And the ex-members were saying, that were there with Louis Theroux, they were saying, look, this is a tactic, this is what they do. Basically, if you look into us, we're going to look back at you, back into you 10 times more exaggerated and more intensely, and we'll make your life a living hell until you stop. And your man, that guy, when he got to the airport, that main guy that was helping Louis Theroux, he was approached by 3 high members, I think is a part of the C organisation, that's a part of...
It's one of the highest parts of it.
Yes, the highest kind of structure of it, I suppose. And he was fucking shocked, because one of them bring up his kid or something.
I'm not sure.
I think so, or someone brought up his kid anyway, and then your man was like, no, we've never done that. We've never gone that intense to bring in family members.
Yeah.
He was kind of scared then, wasn't he?
Who was saying that they did that to impress Miscavige? Did you hear that?
No.
Maybe it was another interview or podcast I was listening to, but they were saying that people were kind of saying, look, these fucking people must have known that if you get in someone's face and he's filming you, they were saying this hard, like, they were saying really mean shit, like.
Yeah.
And they were coming off like fucking lunatics. They came across like, you know, eyes wide open and fucking crazy, you know.
Oh yes,
and
I remember them saying that actually.
Someone was saying that they knew that he would see it and they wanted to do it for him, sort of a thing, or something like that.
But it's just one person. It's just mad. That's one person. It's one person. How can he have so much power?
Yeah, that's the thing.
It's crazy. I'll just play this clip here of. No, this is nothing to do with Scientology. We'll just show you how intense Tom Cruise can be. So,
was Nicole the love of your life?
What do you mean, Peter?
You were married for 10 years.
Listen, we raised children. I mean, how do you answer that? How do you answer that question? She's someone that I plan on getting married again.
You do?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
And having kids?
Absolutely.
But Nicole was a major part of your life and a love of your life at the time.
I loved Nick very much. There's no question.
Would you like Nicole to remarry?
Yes. I want Nicole to be happy. That's what I want.
And do you have a relationship where you talk, it's a parenting relationship, and talk professionally about each other's work?
Listen, here's the thing, Peter.
Yeah.
You're stepping over a line now. You're stepping over a line. You know you are.
I suppose they're questions, though, that people want to know.
Peter, you want to know. Take responsibility for what you want to know. Don't say what other people. This is a conversation that I'm having with you right now.
You're right.
Okay, so I'm just telling you right now, okay? Just put your manners back in.
Do you think I was out of line?
Yes, absolutely.
Well, I apologise for that
Good.
sincerely.
Good.
He might have had a point there, though.
yeah, I don't think
I don't know.
it doesn't come across sinister or nothing there, like, but
Yeah.
like from what I saw, that documentary, that exercise where they're kind of like running abuse and trying to seem unfazed by it, like, that's obviously something that'll help you. You know, just take that little point the way it is, yeah. And I think you can see even from that interview, Tom Cruise doesn't seem fazed. He's dealing with it, but he's dealing with it effectively.
Yeah.
Do you know?
Yeah.
So they're the kind of things that technologies, they say, that they're kind of doing. Now, the whole belief of the cult, I keep saying the cult. See, that's what we're primed into calling it a cult. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
But like, what I'm asking Grok here now, our buddy. What is the belief of Scientologists? Right, so what we're getting back here now is Scientology, founded by L. Ron Hubbard in the early 1950s, is a controversial religious movement with a complex set of beliefs centered around the concept of spiritual freedom and self-improvement. And then it just gives an overview of its core beliefs. So some of them there are Thetan as the true self, so cosmology and God, Okay, so in terms of that, Scientology does not emphasize a traditional deity, but refers to a vague concept of infinity or the eight dynamic. The focus is on individual spiritual progress rather than worship of the supreme being. And yeah, so I think there's this misconception that they believe in an alien god or something.
Yeah, I think I heard that before, but that's not the case, is it?
I don't think that's the case.
They believe in reincarnation, and they believe that as they progress up the levels of Scientology, they will gain access to a higher level of consciousness that might even allow them to remember their past lives. And the threat, I think, that they're facing is that if they are to leave Scientology, they're not going to get to that higher level of consciousness, and they're going to finish up being reincarnated again and again and never remembering their past lives.
Yes.
And some of them have pledged something like the next 1 billion years of their lives to Scientology or something like that. That they're going to go back in and commit to Scientology again and again and again.
Is it Hinduism that have that belief that you get reincarnated? Or is it Buddhism?
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
The concept of reincarnation is kind of comforting for a lot of people, I think, as well, you know.
Yeah.
Not that life is so fucking easy, is it?
But like, there's a lot of these churches everywhere. There's one above in Dublin,
Hinduism.
isn't there? So Hinduism,
Buddhism,
Jainism. Who are they?
Sikhs, Taoism.
So they believe, the Jainism, that they believe in reincarnation, where the soul is reborn based on karma accumulated through actions. Jeez, there's a lot of them. Sikhism, Taoism, New Age and esoteric traditions, Druze. Yeah, there's go for, but the mainstream is Hinduism and Buddhism. Yeah.
So they're not alone in that theory.
I brought it up before in the Early Enough podcast, but just kind of delving off now into kind of like the cultish kind of a sphere. Like, did you ever? So did you watch Netflix?
Yeah.
There's a documentary out that I think the last month or two, and it's. Do you remember I was all about that book before called Chaos? It was all about MK Ultra and how basically your man tied that to the Charles Manson murders.
Oh yes, yeah,
yeah. So that he was kind of like an experiment with LSD and CIA. Yeah. So that book, I've listened to about half it. There's like 15 hours. Listen to half it, and it's good, but it's basically 20 years worth of investigations tied into everything into one book. Like, the whole thing was, just to recap what it was, is there was this guy, I'll have to look for his name now again, but he was working for some magazine anyway, and he was given like he had to write an article. Basically, it was going to the 20 or 30 year anniversary of the murders, and he was just kind of find something, a new take or new little twist on it, new piece of information, and look, we'll just throw that article into the paper. So then he kept finding stuff, and he just, anytime he'd try and set it up, he kept finding more. Anytime he kept on digging into it, so he kept on trying extending the deadline, and eventually he was getting backed by the magazine, but eventually I think the CEO of that magazine had to leave because a new guy came in, and he was backing him, but this financially to do the investigation. But then they just said, look, we can't keep backing you, and we need to kind of focus our money or finances some other places, unless you have us a story. And your man just wasn't happy. He just kept on finding things. Yeah. So then he kind of went off and he wrote a book, and it took him 20 years to write the book, basically.
Yeah.
And there's a Netflix documentary about it. It's only like an hour and a half or 2 hours or something, but I watched only a couple of minutes. It was there, was it 2 weeks ago, and it's supposed to maybe summarise the whole thing. But yeah, it was like the whole 60s kind of peace movement.
Yeah, yeah.
The government, they were very anti-war, obviously. What Vietnam was it going on at the time?
Yeah. The story was that there was a legitimate anti-war movement, and it was coming from, you know, university students who were a lot different than they are today. They were like, you know, a little bit more level-headed, and it was coming from professors in universities. So it was people who were educated and well able to articulate what they wanted to say, and in order to delegitimize them, the story goes the CIA created the hippie down to what he looks like, and sort of in the minds then of the public, if you were anti-war, then you were some sort of a long-haired hippie, pot-smoking, you know, outcast from society more than anything else, I suppose. And you remember we talked about it before. In Laurel Canyon is a place in Los Angeles where all a lot of the 60s music came out of this small little area, and in the middle of this place was
so that's the book there, Chaos, by Tom O'Neill.
Oh yes, yeah. But in the middle of this place was a secret military base. And you know, it's funny, I only heard this today, but what's his name? Jared Leto has recently been accused now of, he's the latest celebrity to be accused of molesting underage people.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I heard this today. And a few years ago, he bought that fucking, that military base, or at least that base had a massive movie studio and everything that you needed to make movies there, and he bought that a few years back. And he's always kind of had a vibe of being something creepy, and I think I heard somewhere in the grapevine, I don't know if it was true, but there was a suggestion that he was trying to start his own little cult and had a little cult following, but I don't know how accurate that was.
No, he has something, but they don't call it a cult, it's kind of more like after Grok in it, you know. So the idea of Leto running a cult stems from public speculation and media reports, often fueled by his own comments and actions. In 2019, Leto hosted a musical... that was it. He hosted a musical festival called Mars Island in Croatia, where he jokingly referred to his fan base as a cult on social media, saying, yes, this is a cult, in reference to the devoted following of 30 Seconds to Mars. So that was his band.
Yeah.
And then these comments combined with his eccentric persona and the Laurel Canyon property's unconventional nature have led to exaggerated claims about the cult. For example, last year there was an article described where it was describing Leto as leading into the cult leader image for publicity, noting his Laurel Canyon compound as part of the narrative. And then he had another post up this year where reference a podcast where Joe Rogan and Tim Dillon discussed Leto's property and alleged cult activities. So it seems like he's doing it for attention. So we were on about the compound.
They're saying there's no evidence he bought it.
Yeah, there's no evidence that he's bought the entirety of Laurel Canyon, a well-known neighbourhood in Los Angeles.
I know, he hasn't bought it. No, that's just worded wrong.
Sorry, Leto did purchase a specific property in Laurel Canyon in 2015, a former US Air Force base. There you go, on Wonderland Avenue.
Wonderland.
Known as Lockout Mountain Air Force Station. And it was decommissioned in 1969. It's 8 acres. Yeah, and it was used as a military film studio. He bought it for $5 million.
Mad.
So the property has been described as a private residence and creative space. And Leto has referred to it in interviews as a place with a sordid history, and he used it for events tied to his band. Yeah, so he's open about this kind of like
interesting
following or group, but I heard as well there was something about him back around COVID. He was one of the last people in the Western world to hear of COVID, because he was having this like detox from technology. He goes off to his island. Right. Or he could have been here, I don't know, but apparently he went off to a place anyway, no technology. And he didn't hear, was he weak there or something? He didn't even know COVID was a thing, was it a pandemic at the time?
Okay.
So when he came back, he heard it all.
Yeah, that's mad.
Yeah.
Mad.
But yeah,
he's a strange character though, and he reminds me a little bit of Russell Brand, and he kind of went for the same kind of look when he fucking grew his hair long. At some point, he was going with the Russell Brand Jesus look. I thought that was fitting in nicely with his little cult following, but it's not a real cult in the end, is it?
No, but sure, there you go again. Like, sure, what is a cult? What defines a cult? Do you know? It's always years later when people come out about this stuff, like, do you know? Joe Rogan, he was supposed to be buying. So he's this comedy mothership over in Texas. You've heard that, yeah? Houston, is it? But anyway, he was originally supposed to buy this building, and it was the headquarters of a satanic cult as well. And it was like the main leader, like, he was kind of fucking, he was writing everyone in there, like, and basically he was doing this ritualistic thing then with his chosen few, and I think it was called The Happening or something like that.
Right.
And people that actually came out about it after, they said it was the most intense and euphoric feeling of their life. They really felt that they were given something, that now, was it maybe the belief that they were getting something? Was it the build-up to what this was?
Yeah.
But like the human mind is a funny thing, like, you know, like perception of something, like, you know, it's like if you work yourself up that you're very nervous about something, you just make it very important, and that's how, like, if you put something at the start, it's so important to you that you're actually nervous about it, and to someone else that does something like that a lot, or if you just do it once, you'll be like, oh, look, that wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
And if you keep doing it again, it just becomes monotonous. Yeah. Like, that's, I get to know, when you're ever nervous about something, you can't, some people can't eat when they get nervous and stuff. It's just the mind.
Yeah. And
the power of the mind, what it has over the body.
Yeah.
Do you know?
And I suppose, like, these cultists are like, they're sort of like magicians. They cast a spell on people, and they just can't escape it then. So,
a definition of a cult. So it's a group or movement often centred around a charismatic leader or ideology characterised by intense devotion, unconventional beliefs or practices, and significant control over members' lives. Definitions vary across contexts. But some of the key features are charismatic leadership, exclusive beliefs, control and influence. So that could be like psychological manipulation, isolation or strict rules, devotion and commitment, us versus them mentality. So shutting yourself off from the outside world, kind of like.
Something I remember hearing as well, that cults will often change the names of people when they join.
Okay,
it's kind of to get rid of your previous identity. Now you're reborn. This is who you are now. You know?
Yes.
It's all a mind fuck, and there seems to be like a sort of a formula to it, I suppose. And like you said there a while ago, I heard someone talking about cults, and they said in the end, it all comes down to fucking sex. The leader just banging everybody. You know?
Yeah. That's you know? That's nearly always the.
Yeah.
There's this Savage movie out. What's it called? It's about a cult, and it's probably the closest thing that I've seen to actually making it seem so realistic and so kind of like horrific. I'll have to find the name of it, but people should watch it. Cult movie. It's just gonna be cult favourite movies. The one I was thinking of was Midsummer back in 2019. That's fucked up, like.
Is it?
It's fucked up. They start off, so they're going to this, if I can remember rightly, they're going to this, like visiting a family members or something, and they go out into the middle of nowhere, and there's like cabins and sheds there, and just beautiful landscape out in the countryside, I think, over in America, and they start taking like drugs, basically, ecstasy and all that, and they're just chilling, and then the main character, like, they just keep giving her drugs and she's just like sick of it, but then it starts turning sexual, and then gets very fucking sinister.
Right.
Yeah. I won't spoil it for everyone watch it, but I'm just going to show the screen here. Like, there's a couple of movies here. I don't know, have you watched these?
I watched Rosemary's Baby a long time ago, and it's a dark one, man. It's
so let's see if I can zoom in there now. Yeah, so I don't even know if we can see this on the screen, but anyway, yeah, Rosemary's Baby. Yeah, did you watch that one? You said
a long time ago. I don't know if you can't count that as a cult movie though. She's basically this woman fucking giving birth to Damien or something similar.
Yeah, the Devil's Kid or something.
Yeah, it's a long time ago when I watched it.
Yeah, but you remember, like, there was an end scene. I never watched it, but I remember that scene, and they're all like inside playing piano and all that. She comes in, she's giving birth, and she's bleeding, and just look at her and smile because it's all planned. So there you go. There's the cult.
Yeah. Roman Polanski, he's a dirty fucker as well, is he?
Roman Polanski.
Was there stories about him back in the day? And Mia Farrow.
That's your man that was murdered. No, sorry. It wasn't him. No, it was Sharon Tate was his woman, sure.
Is that right? Yes.
Yeah, she was the one that was murdered. It was Roman Polanski's house for the Charles Manson murders.
Was that right?
Yeah.
How did I not remember
He was a horror director, yeah.
Yeah.
He was a sketchy enough guy as well, like he was going off for everyone. Like,
yeah, do you remember there was a guy talking to, was it someone talking to Joe Rogan? He was saying that he'd heard that the police had found fucking home porn movies that Polanski had filmed and forced Mia Farrow to star in them.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And yeah, was she in a relationship with Woody Allen at some point as well?
No, not sure. No.
There was another actress that was in a relationship with, I think, with Woody Allen, and she was crying over the phone. There was an audio of her crying over the phone, saying because she was accusing him of raping her daughter.
That's right, and she was in.
Was that Polanski or?
No, Woody. That's Woody Allen.
Was it? Yeah.
Yeah. So they adopted. Sorry, I can't talk.
Yeah.
They adopted the child.
He ended up marrying her or something in the end.
And he ended up marrying the child.
Yeah.
That adopted child.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he accused her of whatever, and he kept denying it, and he kept denying it to the public.
Yeah.
And didn't just. No one really. It was just reality, didn't it?
Yeah.
No one fucking.
Was Polanski wanted in America? He couldn't attend fucking movie awards and shit at some point in his life.
Was that to do with the murders maybe before they found out?
I don't know.
Was it Roman? How would you pronounce his name again?
Polanski. Grok is having to think about it. I'm telling you what, Grok is very straight down the line, politically correct, and
he's not. They're not supposed to be like. Yes, Roman Polanski has been a fugitive since 1978, following his guilty plea to unlawful sexual intercourse with a minor in 1977. So it gives a list. So the case, he's arrested in 1977 in LA, charged with 6 offences, including rape related to the sexual assault of 13-year-old Samantha Gailey. He pleaded guilty to the lesser charge of unlawful sexual intercourse with a minor as part of a plea deal, before sentencing, fearing a harsher penalty due to judicial misconduct concerns. Polanski then fled the US to France in 1978. Then he had a fugitive status. French citizen then he was, and has remained a fugitive from the US just ever since. Is he still alive?
I don't know.
The US issued an international arrest warrant, and he is on Interpol's wanted list for the 77 crime. And then France's policy against extraditing its citizens has protected him from extradition while he resides there.
Unbelievable.
So in 2009 he was arrested. He was detained in Switzerland at the US's request, but was released after Swiss authorities declined extradition, citing legal issues with the US case. And then other allegations of sexual misconduct surfaced, including the 1973 rape case that was settled out of court in 2024 October. That's only last year, avoiding a 2025 trial. And then prosecutors also declined to pursue a separate 1975 molestation allegation in 2018 due to expired statuses of limitations. So currently, given its current status, latest reports, Polanski remains wanted by the US for the 1977 case, but is safe in France and a few other countries that do not extradite to the US. So the 1973 case is settled, and the declined 1975 case do not alter his fugitive status for the original conviction. Wow.
It's crazy.
So there, in 2008, there was a documentary called Roman Polanski, Wanted and Desired. And that it just goes into all the case, basically. Fuck it, never knew that.
It's fucking Hollywood for you.
Oh, Hollywood is full of that crack. What's the story? Have you been following the Madeleine McCann thing on the news lately?
No, but it's kind of blowing up again, is it? They're going investigating. They're reopening the investigation, or they're going searching somewhere for her again. Yeah,
but like I seen something on. It was only the front page of a newspaper by passing inside the shop there the other day, and just showed this fella the smile of him. And but I think he came clear. Excuse me, he came up with some other murders. Or came clear with some other murders he did, but not the. He always denied that Madeleine McCann one he ever had any involvement.
Who was that?
I don't know, this guy that I seen in the front of the paper the other day.
He a suspect?
Yeah. Yeah.
You'd wonder why why Madeleine McCann got so much attention. Because children go missing all the time. A lot of children go missing all the time, but I mean, she wasn't missing very long and she was already headline news. You know? Like, as far as I know, like, she wasn't even missing 24 hours and it was on the news. You know? That the parents had come back to the room, they were hysterical that the child was missing. They called some friends in England and said that the room had been broken into, and then it was on the news the next morning, you know?
Yeah, so 2007 it happened. So, as of June 2025, Portuguese and German police conducted a 3-day search in the Algarve region near where Madeleine disappeared, focusing on areas previously unexplored. The search, which ended around the 5th of June, so was that 3 days ago, yielded limited findings, primarily animal bones, and was called off without significant breakthroughs. And the prime suspect,
primarily animal bones? What the fuck is that supposed to mean? They went digging for her and they found animal bones, just coincidentally?
Well, I presume in the area that was previously unexplored.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the prime suspect, so that was a lad that I saw, Christian Bruckner. He's a German. German prosecutors continue to focus on him. He's a convicted sex offender, and as the prime suspect, Bruckner, who lived in Algarve between 1995 and 2007, has not been formally charged in the case, but faces a trial for 5 unrelated sexual assault charges in Germany. German authorities assume Madeleine is dead, though no definite evidence has been made public. New evidence claims a hard drive found in a factory owned by Bruckner reportedly contains evidence suggesting Madeleine's death. Though details remain vague and unconfirmed, this was noted in blah 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 on X. And okay, so did it say in April this year the UK government allocated over £100,000 in additional funding to the investigation. Yeah, so that's great. Other developments. A witness claimed police ignored their call with potential information, highlighting ongoing frustrations. So there's a lot of that too, incompetency, like, isn't there? Yeah. So Julia Wendell, a woman who claimed to be Madeleine, do you remember that one? Shared DNA test results in May of 2025. I remember her from a couple of years ago, or last year or something, but it came up again in May, confirming she is not McCann, closing that trade. Right. So Bruckner was injured in custody, 2 broken ribs during a court incident. But this has not directly impacted the McCann case. And an arrest warrant related to Madeleine's case was lifted for Bruckner, but he remains in prison for the other convictions.
Right.
And then, look, there's still no sign of or any evidence of where she was. But like, what's more likely after? Like, the conspiracy is that the parents were involved, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
So accidentally they killed her. They're trying to, or what happened?
I think the theory was that they might have, being doctors and stuff, they might have drugged the kids and accidentally overdosed her, and then found her when they came back and and tried to cover it up. And I remember, it's been a long time now since I've looked into it, but I remember there was inconsistencies in their initial story. And one of the things that they had, when they called home, I think they called family members and friends or something, and they were a bit hysterical, and they were saying something like, someone jimmied open the window, or someone jimmied open the door, or something like that.
Right.
But it turned out that the window hadn't been, or what I think it was the window, hadn't been messed with. That it was quite a good lock or something like that. So they were saying there's no way that someone went through that way or something like that. Anyway, their story was inconsistent, so they had to change it, and as a result, they've been suspects. I think they said they found a drop of blood, of her blood, in the boot of their car.
Oh,
but I could be misremembering that.
I think I remember that as well.
Yeah.
But sure, there's been countless documentaries made of it, like, isn't there?
Yeah, they've done a lot of interviews over the years, but honestly, I never really went deep into that one.
But look, there's always going to be conspiracies about things.
Yeah, like we have what's going on now, and
what's the thing? Occam's razor, is that what they call it? Usually the easiest explanation is the most likeliest. So I just typed in there the Grok as well. Was there blood found in the parents' car? There were claims regarding it in the car that was rented by Jerry and Kate McCann, but the details are complex and inconclusive. So what's it giving us? In August of 2007, sniffer dogs trained to detect blood, and cadaver sense alerted traces in the car's trunks, or the car's boot, basically, and on McCann's clothing, so Kate, the mother's clothing.
Oh, okay.
So DNA evidence, forensic analysis, they actually found DNA in the car that was initially reported as a partial match to Madeleine's, but sure, obviously, 'cause she's going to be in the car anyway. Samples were described as low level and degraded, meaning that they were non-conclusive. But that's not really evidence. Like, of course, the kids were going to be inside the car. They could have cut their finger.
Of course, like, yeah.
Inside the boot is a bit strange, doesn't it?
When they say DNA evidence, it could be a fucking hair.
See, yeah, exactly, yeah. See, here we go again. Early media reports sensationalised the findings, suggesting blood was found, but official statements clarified that the evidence was not definitive. Yeah, so again, it was only fucking shit talk, basically.
Yeah. But I'll tell you what, you couldn't use Grok to fucking investigate anything, really.
See that shit, like, it's telling us what sources it's using, like, but...
I saw somebody ask the question there on X, I think it was today or yesterday.
Yeah.
They were saying, do you remember the fucking the big scene we talked about in one of our first episodes? The big scene in Florida, the UFO. Well, was it a UFO sighting or aliens were seen or something in that shopping mall? You remember all the
in Miami,
like 100 fucking police cars showed up.
We'll have to get this clip up because that was fucking bad.
That was a wild one. But
I bet you'll find it on X.
Yeah, it was on X. But somebody commented underneath saying, because ask Grok what happened in this situation. Grok said, "Oh no, it was only fireworks. It was just it was 50 kids set off fireworks." And then the guy starts getting into an argument with Grok, going, "Yeah, that doesn't sound right, does it? I mean, there'd be footage. The kids would have filmed it themselves, and there'd be CCTV and stuff like that, and." Doesn't it seem a tad excessive? And eventually Grok kind of came around to saying, yeah, the official story doesn't sound like it's the whole story. Like they cut off the fucking power to the whole block.
Here's the famous video. Like, all the fucking cars. Where are all the cop cars there? Like?
And I remember seeing people leaving the shopping centre, and they're all just strolling around. They're not...
Bueno, para que sean testigos cuando se produce una llamada a todo.
But
or this is one. Look at this one. Like, look at that.
It's crazy.
That is mad. Like, how the fuck? Over just a riot, basically, was it?
They said it was 50 kids who
looting or
who
something.
had set off fireworks. But there's people running around.
But there was the video of something walking. Oh, here we go. This is the one that I showed at the start. So I don't know if people can see the noise or the arrow there now.
Oh yeah,
cursor.
what is that thing there? Yeah.
But if you look up to the top there, before the steps, there's like 3 cars just past the first row of cop cars.
Yeah. Or something.
There's 3 there, but like 3 people walking. But the conspiracy is one of the shadows longer than the other, so the person in the middle, they said, shit, but then they came out against that saying they're detaining one of the teenagers.
But had it been like a bunch of teenagers, I think I read that there was 4 arrests. They arrested 4 of the 50 or whatever. But again, like I couldn't find any mugshots of the fellas that they arrested. Maybe they're teenagers, so they didn't take mugshots. I don't know. But for there to have been no CCTV,
like it's okay. The best. Okay, here we go. This is showing an X now as well. I just scroll down a bit. It's showing me this one, the best digitally enhanced and now clearest video footage of the Bayside Miami aliens. Modern technology knows. Oh yeah, so that clip that I showed a second ago apparently was the alien. Apparently.
Right. I know.
But see, this is the problem. We said it there a while ago. AI, like.
Yeah.
Like, we can't.
We're not going to be able to believe anything we see before too long.
Like, just look up AI fucking videos now at the minute. And let's see how real they look like. It's literally ridiculous. Like look at this one.
Good, fam. Your boy David here, about to yeet this little stone at Goliath and see what happens. Okay, so I told y'all to trust the process. But no, y'all wanted to stay in Egypt stacking bricks. Yo, it's Shadrach. This random dude just showed up. It's getting lit in here. I got the horses in the back. Horse tack is attached. Hat is matte black. Got the boots that's black to match. You know I'm a daddy's boy. He's got me in this Technicolor drip. Brother's so jelly right now. They're looking a little sus. These Philistines thought they could flex on me. Big mistake. I just took some pre-workout and finna bring the house down. I would like to formally apologize to God, the sailors, and this whale.
That is just so real, like.
I mean,
It's
the days
so
of
scary.
making movies like in big studios are coming to an end.
What is this? Is this a global movie? What is this, Gaza? I thought that was happening before. Look at that. I wonder did Greta Thunberg, she was supposed to be getting out how do I start that word? Greta Thunberg, she was going out with her in her boat, with her whatever food and bits of aid. But she tried a while ago, did she? Again, herself and a few others, and they were stopped.
I don't know.
She was wearing. Do you ever hear of that band there? They're from Dublin, DC Fontaine or something.
Right.
She was wearing. They sponsored some soccer jersey. It was a Draha there, some crowd. Or was it Bohemians? But they came out with a custom jersey, and she was wearing it. Apparently, she's a fan of Greta Thunberg. But
yeah, I don't know. I think she's a fucking actress, that one, to be honest with you. I think.
Yeah, well, go on. What do you think?
I don't really know much about her, but just, you know, she goes to these protests, she gets arrested, she's practically fucking smiling, being carried away. The girl is never going to fucking finish up, you know, serving hard time or anything like that for any of these things that she's doing.
There you go. Now look, there she is with the jersey. Yeah, it was the bows she was wearing. That one there.
Football fans against fascism.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people against fascism these days. It's not really fascism in a lot of sense, like, you know, calling fucking normal Irish people far right, fascists and Nazis.
And I see some clips like that, right, when you're trying to promote your... I suppose everyone from their own country is going to be promoting their own traditions.
I suppose I'm in the mindset now that the psychopath stuff, but, you know, in one of, I think it was Puzzling People, in one of Thomas Sheridan's books, he was talking about kind of false altruism. And I feel like a lot of people are attracted to this sort of free Palestine, I stand with Ukraine, refugees welcome sort of a thing, because it kind of hides and masks what they're really about. And they're portraying themselves as, you know, more caring and more moral than normal people. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if you're more worried about your own people than you are about people from a faraway land, then you lack the empathy that these people have. Do you know what I mean? They're kind of, I think in some ways, probably overcompensating for the fact that they have no fucking empathy at all, and they're masking it, and they're putting on this kind of costume, I suppose.
It's kind of like that reminds me of the little Red Riding Hood kind of story where the wolf is kind of like disguising herself as the grandmother, whereas the intentions are
Yes. Yeah.
kill Little Red Riding Hood.
Like from what I've learned from Thomas Sheridan, I feel like psychopaths are almost like crocodile. They're like reptiles that have gotten access to a human body, and they're doing their best to sort of mimic human behaviour.
But I've heard this idea as well, right? So I would say, okay, John, maybe on like the sinister elite, they have the plan of control and all this crack, right? But maybe it's not down to something like that complex. Maybe it just could be down to the pure nature of other these personalities types that are there, right? You know, so like, would say someone that's money hungry, right? They want to make money, but they do anything what they have to do in their power to make money. Whereas that is to ruin someone else's reputation, to ruin or to use someone for their own benefit, you know?
Yeah.
But it's the whole goal is to make money, right? So maybe it's kind of like a pure kind of like animalistic kind of a behaviour. So maybe there's not something sinister there. Maybe it's just there for individual kind of like benefit, and it's coming across as that it's this sinister plan all the time. Does that make sense?
What's a sinister plan?
So no, but I'm just talking about the whole things as in like, do you know what I mean? About like this elite, this elite, they just want us controlled and all this all the time.
Yeah.
But like that's going on for how, like I bet you people are talking about that. There's surely like a lad standing in the middle of like outside the Colosseum saying like, oh, the elites, they're trying to control us.
Yes.
Like, okay, maybe there's that little bit of control, but like maybe it's not as fucking sinister as planned as we think.
I saw your man George Carlin years ago. I don't know if you're familiar with him. He was a comedian. He died 15 or 16 years ago. But in an interview, he was saying, you know, that you don't need a formal conspiracy when interests align.
Yeah.
Between powerful people. He said they go to the same country clubs, they go to the same places, and they meet up, but they don't have to fucking, they know what's good for me is good for you sort of a thing. So they don't have to have this, I suppose, like he's described, a formal conspiracy.
Yes.
I don't know either way, but I mean, you see the way things are going, it seems like there's a lot of control, and
there is, but I do think there is people pushing back against that as well. Like, and I know, like you're kind of conspicuous there about Russell Brand, aren't you?
Yeah. I see. I'd nearly fucking trust no one at this point.
Yeah.
You know, like the vast majority of people that I would have credited before for quote unquote waking me up, I wouldn't really trust them now. I see kind of red flags, and you know, I see things like, well, I often wonder, like, if you're a serious threat, that they would kill you. Do you know what I mean? And do you know who someone was killed there recently? Someone that you barely know.
This is another example of that is Epstein's List, and one of the victims there that actually came out about it.
Yeah.
She died there recently.
That's
of
right.
cancer or something.
That's right.
Yeah. What about fucking Elon Musk? We better have to mention it. Elon Musk and Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Have they deleted the tweets since?
They've deleted them.
Well, yeah, I heard someone saying I went down through Elon's X account, Twitter account, for sure. Like he posts about he posts about 34 times a day.
You should know when you're like, if he's going to say something like that.
Like
I'm falling out with Trump, and then he's going to delete it. He knows the internet takes receipts. Everyone's going to take these pictures. So why, of all people, the guy who owns
it's very
X,
childish though. It's very theatrical, isn't it?
Yeah. I think it's funny because like Biden got in, and all the people who didn't vote for Biden sat back and went, "Look, you fucked everything up. Now it's all your fault. We're in this war now with Ukraine because of Biden, and Trump would have kept us out of blah blah." Then Trump gets in after, and all the people that would have been voting for Kamala are they're giddy now, watching this all fall apart as well. You know,
but did like Elon put it up there? He tagged at the top of his post or pinned at the top of his page, and he said, "Who's ready for, or who wants a third party to be set up to actually represent 80% of the American population?" And again, like it was like 90% voted yes, whatever small amount, 10%, whatever voted no. I don't know. It seems very staged now. If it mightn't be, but again, you would have to be something kind of like.
It's mental that he said that Trump was on the Epstein list, and that's why we're not going to get it.
Yeah, and he said save this for future reference.
Mad, like.
That was crazy. But think of it this, but sure, like everyone seen the clip of fucking Trump in 1992. Get it up here, we might end the episode in, because 1992 he had I forgot, no, it's fair like. This one here, like, people aren't really surprised that say if he was involved with Epstein, because
Yet, a tape in the NBC archives of a Mar-a-Lago party shows Trump giving Epstein his personal attention. The footage, shot in November of 1992, before Trump opened the resort as a club, shows the future president surrounded by cheerleaders for the Buffalo Bills and Miami Dolphins, capturing Trump's fun-loving bachelor lifestyle for an appearance on Faith Daniels' NBC talk show.
We're going to get great ratings in your show.
After a while, Trump goes to greet 3 new guests, among them the financier Jeffrey Epstein.
Come on in, go inside.
More than a decade before his guilty plea on state prostitution charges.
Donald Trump knew the cameras were there. In the video, he makes a point to draw Epstein's attention to them. And the video captures Donald Trump and Epstein chatting while watching a group of women at the party dance. It's not an image that matches Trump's declaration that he was not a fan of Epstein's. He said, quote, "He's a lot of fun to be with. It's even said that he likes beautiful women as much as I do. And many of them are on the younger side. No doubt about it, Jeffrey enjoys his social life." So even that, I mean, to Bob Costa's point, in 2002, Trump had knowledge that Epstein liked women who were, quote, on the younger side.
But like, I seen there a quote that was put up on Elon Musk's page when they started fucking blabbing each other. And it was something like Trump said in an interview back in the early 2000s, Epstein, he likes ladies like me, but he tends to go for the younger ladies. I think he's a really nice man. Yeah. Or something like that, you know. Yeah. You know, he's never come out, I don't think he's come out publicly about anything since. But I'd say, look, we'll leave it there for this episode. I know that one's kind of messy. We're kind of doing a bit of experimenting around. We should look at onwards and upwards kind of thing. We'll just...
And we're back very soon now with Thomas Sheridan. Yeah. Fingers crossed.
Right. If you're listening to the end, fair play to you, because parts of that were hard to listen to, I'd say. And, thanks for listening.
Take it easy.